Hi guys, I hope you're well. This video is going to be slightly different. It's going to be a questions and answers about teaching here in Dubai. On Instagram, Thomas Blakemore, if you're not following me already on Instagram, in the stories I put one of those little question boxes, you know, the ones where people can ask you questions. Now, I was thinking that the questions would be related to anything, you know, things like what's your favourite video game or your favourite type of food and, you know, Skyrim and Chinese, just in case you're wondering, but the questions were specifically related to teaching in Dubai for the vast majority. So what I want to do is talk about teaching in Dubai and answer some of those questions. I've written them down in my book so that hopefully I don't miss out any questions. So to start off with, do you still teach in Dubai? And yes is the answer to that. I still teach in Dubai, so the knowledge that I have here is current knowledge and hopefully things that you can learn from. Am I still teaching online? Are schools open? Schools are not open. Yes, I am still teaching online. Week 15, it's a Thursday here at the moment as I'm filming this. It's week 15 next week, so that is the last week of online learning. It's been long. I've learned many things. I've been able to teach different things, Bitmoji classrooms, different activities, all sorts of different things, but yeah, I'm just about coming towards the end and done with it. So let's move on to things specifically related to teaching in Dubai. So to start off with, what are the pros of teaching in Dubai? So to start off with, the pros of living here in Dubai. Well, this one's often very subjective. Different people have different pros for living here. Personally, I think the heat is fantastic, other than in the summer when it gets a little bit too hot. I really like having that heat and having the beaches available. I really enjoy the fact that the lifestyle here is very different because there are so many different things to do. You've got things like water parks, beaches, you've got huge malls with different features in each mall. There are so many different things to do here. At the same time, it's a fantastic location too in terms of travel. One of my other questions is what is my favourite part of living here in Dubai, and to be honest, that would probably be one of them too. Lifestyle is one of my favourite things. I would also say location in terms of travel. In the UK, you're quite restricted in some ways unless you want to pay massive amounts for flights, whereas here in Dubai, since you've got Emirates, you've got Fly Dubai, there are lots of locations available within a short distance. You're almost in quite a central place to go to weird and wonderful locations in the world. So this year, obviously, there's been a lot of travel restrictions. Last year, I was able to travel to so many amazing different places. Why did I move to Dubai? Personally, that's one for another video, talking about why I no longer teach in the UK. But personally, the reason why I decided to teach in Dubai is more of a why not than a why, because as a young single guy at the time, I just sort of had no restrictions. It was more of a chance to explore the world and sort of grow outside of my bubble, to go and see and experience more of the world. Cons of teaching in Dubai. Now this one, I wanted to write a few different bits and pieces down. So personally, it's an expensive place. Yes, the wages are higher and that links to a pro. Again, you've got tax-free salary. The reason I haven't said that as a pro is because actually con is in a very expensive place. Even things like groceries are significantly more expensive here, especially if you're looking for British goods, those things, simple things like Weetabix. Yes, they have Arabic writing on the box, but actually you're going to be looking at 2, sometimes 3 times the price for English cereals. It's 6 hours away from home. That's another con, it depends. Again, it's subjective. If you're not a homely person, this won't affect you too much, but it's 6 hours away from home. It's not the same as, you know, driving half an hour up the road to go and see your family. And that would be the biggest reason I miss the UK, to be honest with you, is that I do miss my family tremendously. Other cons, yes, there are cultural differences and there are differences with the law too. So as you come over here, you need to understand those different things. Like as soon as you come from the beach onto, you know, sort of restaurant area, you need to put your top on. In the UK, it's quite common for people to just be strolling around the town square, especially in summer. That's not appropriate here. So you just need to be observant of the cultural differences and the different laws here too. In addition, it does get ridiculously hot in the summer, so that's where, you know, you use that opportunity to go and travel to those weird and wonderful places in the world that I mentioned before. Do you need to speak Arabic to work in Dubai? Absolutely not. I don't speak I mean, I speak one or two phrases, but no is the answer essentially, because English, that's another pro. English is widely spoken by the majority of people here, and yes, there are sometimes language barriers from where people don't quite understand accents, and you sometimes have to speak in broken English to be able to explain things at times, but generally, you know, the people here speak decent English and you can have conversations with the majority of people in that language. However, if you speak Arabic, amazing. And people do appreciate, you know, especially if I was to come out with fluent Arabic, it would be amazing and other people would respect that highly. How do you find positions teaching in schools here in Dubai? TES is the one that I use personally. Yes, there are agencies, but I don't have much experience with agencies, and there are some bad stories, but that's not to say that all agencies are bad. TES is where you will find the majority of the jobs. You want to be looking sort of October time for jobs, right the way up towards sort of June-ish. Keep your eyes peeled throughout the year, because different jobs do pop up here, there and everywhere. Was it easy to settle into Dubai? Personally, no, because accommodation wasn't set up for me initially, which meant that to start off with, for the first couple of weeks, I was living in a hostel. After that, I had a friend who helped me and allowed me to stop with them. That really, really supported me significantly, and yeah, I feel like they were absolute heroes at that point. However, from there, once I had my Emirates ID, then I could get my own place. So that was just the first month of sort of not quite being a bit disrupted. My case is a little bit different. Most people get given accommodation straight away, and that's quite straightforward. They move into accommodation, go to IKEA, get loads of stuff, and usually it's quite easy, but yeah, just in my case, it wasn't quite like that. However, after that, next question is, what is my accommodation like? I made a video on this. It was like a bit of a apartment tour. The lighting in that video is absolutely dreadful, so please don't judge me, but if you want to see what that apartment's like, it's up there somewhere. Feel free to go and watch that. And next question. Are there any things you wish you knew before moving to Dubai? Yes. I wish I knew that I couldn't get certain things here in Dubai. However, you can get the majority of things here in Dubai, but they're just expensive. Things like jelly babies, like specifically the, what they call Bassett's, the yellow bag of jelly babies, basically, whatever I put a picture of up there. Shrimps and bananas, again, picture there, like basically sweets and candy. There are other bits and pieces too. I know that Amazon in the UK is that little bit better than in the UAE, and there's more variety there. So whenever I go back to the UK, I always get lots of bits and pieces from that Amazon and bring them over. I always sort of do some sort of like haul or something along those lines, especially for teaching. That's a video. Other things, I wish I knew that it's legal to smoke inside. That's a big difference really, especially as an asthmatic. I wish I'd taken my inhaler out on the first couple of nights out and things like that, because yeah, my breathing was not good. Just wasn't used to it. My lungs just, yeah, became affected. Next question, would you ever live in any other UAE cities, or Emirates as they're called here? No, Dubai, I personally believe, is one of the better Emirates. That's just a personal belief. I have visited Abu Dhabi, loved it. There's lots of things to do there. I visited Fujairah, beautiful. Lots of amazing beaches there too. But personally, just love Dubai. Next question, have you considered working in other countries? Yes, I have this little bit of a dream, I suppose you'd call it. Getting a bit deep now. I'd really like to go and visit a range of different countries around the world and experience what school and education is like there. So to be able to go to areas in rural Kenya to go and experience what schools are like there versus schools. I remember when I went to Sri Lanka, the children's uniforms were always this pristine white uniform, and they took such pride in their appearance. But I'd just love to go and see what it would be like inside those schools, their different cultural stories, to see how they teach lessons, whether we can learn from one another, and those sorts of experiences, but also to share those experiences with the world. I just think that would be very interesting. At the same time, I've also thought about teaching in international schools in places like Hong Kong and Singapore. It was also an area that I did think about going to initially, but I just chose Dubai because it was that little bit closer to home. How long do I see myself teaching here in the UAE? I said that I was going to only be here for a couple of years and then go. That's like the ongoing joke here in the UAE, is that people say, oh, I'm just going to come here for a couple of years and then that'll be me, I'm going to go and do X, Y, Z, and then 15 years later they're still here in the UAE. That happens. I don't want to be here for 15 years, however, I do think it will be longer than the 2 years that I initially said. I don't know is the answer, basically. That marks the end of the Q&A about teaching here in Dubai. I'm sure there are many other questions that you guys have. Feel free to drop them into the comments. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe depending on what platform you're on and bits and pieces like that. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. My voice is going. I'm out.